The night was as stale as a saltine cracker, and just as crunchy. Outside I could hear wind cutting through the streets, sharper than an irritable nun's tongue at a Catholic school. I elected to stay inside, avoiding both the unforgiving weather and the asinine crowds who had made a habit of ogling and pointing at me. Ever since I was disgraced by articles exposing me as the author of a once critically acclaimed mystery novel series, I couldn't so much as sneeze in public without being harassed. My publisher dropped me, my books were ripped out of libraries and bookstores, and readers across the nation seemed to forget overnight how much they had once loved my stories. They turned on me and my books, all because they discovered the author concealed behind my pen name was a woman. I had lost count of how many secluded days I'd spent in my office since the so-called scandal, my typewriter sitting on my desk all but forgotten. In the midst of my wallowing, just as I thought the evening couldn't get any more depressing, my unalloyed banality was interrupted by my scrupulous assistant, Edith.
Frank, I just got off the phone and... Frank! What the hell are you doing?
Working on my next novel.
Burning down the building, more like. And where'd you get that brandy? I thought I took your last bottle.
And I thought I told you alcohol is my only source of satisfaction ever since that vindictive publisher ruined my career, all because I'm a woman.
Frances May Ripley, you know as well as I do that is not why Mr. Finchley stopped publishing your manuscripts. You slept with his wife.
He was unable to prove anything of the sort. Besides, hardly say Mrs. Finchley and I were doing much sleeping. We had a very stimulating conversation, and we had a lot in common, and one thing led to another.
Please, spare me the gory details. The tabloids went into plenty of detail for me.
Don't get me started on those hacks, Edith. They don't deserve the written word as a medium. And besides, what happened to that old adage, all press is good press? My book should be doing better than ever after all this publicity.
You know, for an astute person, you are a terrible businesswoman.
Wow. Thanks for the pep talk. Why are you here?
You pay me to be?
Right. Remind me to fire you when you're done tidying.
How characteristically winsome. Now come on, we have a meeting. Someone finally responded to your ad in the newspaper about your private detective services.
Look, I know you're desperate for me to make some money since I lost my royalties, but can we drop this whole private investigator thing? I'd much rather stay here in my office, alone, secluded, depressed.
As much as I'd love to find a new employer, I sadly wear my loyalty like a well-fitted girdle. It's why my figure's so ravishing. Now, come on. You have to leave this den of despair. Frank, you've been sulking in here for over a month. And this woman who called, she needs our help. Her name's Helen Fiegel. She said she doesn't trust male private eyes. They talk to themselves too much, apparently. And you're the only woman in the business she could find. Please, I told her we'd meet with her.
I don't know, I'd really much rather stay here.
She's paying cash. It's $50 up front.
50 clams? Why didn't you say so? Let's go.
Guess I should have started with the $50. When was the last time it rained?
What are you doing?
I was looking for her apartment on the first floor.
Well, I was looking on the third floor and it wasn't there.
So then probably it's on this floor. Now, we want to make a good impression, okay? That means no mention of your scandals and absolutely no off-color comments about midwifery. Think you can manage?
I'll behave myself, but if she mentions home birth...
Ah, you must be Miss Fiegel.
Yes, you must be Frances Ripley.
Call me Frank.
And I'm her colleague. We spoke earlier on the phone.
Ah, yes. And what was your name? Dave?
Don't be ridiculous. Her name's Edith. Though now that you mention it, Dave does have a nice ring to it.
I don't know.
Please just hang up your coats and come in. We have much to discuss.
Okay. Is this okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Safe?
It's fairly secure in here.
Maybe have a little flooding, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the neighborhood. I just wasn't sure. Right. Excuse us.
Please have a seat. Would either of you care for a drink?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I'll have anything with whiskey in it.
How about a whiskey?
That'll work.
And you?
Oh, well, if you're making drinks, I'd love a Shirley Temple. Virgin, please.
We know. She'll have a water.
I appreciate you agreeing to meet with me on such a short notice. It brings me no pleasure having to hire someone in this capacity, but I feel I have no choice.
And why is that?
It's my brother, Edgar. Until recently, he worked in City Hall, but, well, I'm afraid he's gotten himself into some serious trouble.
Trouble? What kind of trouble? Something scandalous, I hope.
Please, excuse my colleague. She had a citrus fruit this morning. You understand. Now, what was the nature of your brother's predicament, Miss Fiegel?
It's to do with John Fairfax, the mayor. You see, Edgar had discovered something that Fairfax wanted kept quiet, and, well, long story short, my brother had started blackmailing the mayor.
Blackmail? Politics? And during an already contentious mayoral campaign? This could be quite entertaining.
My brother's dilemma is hardly entertaining. Fairfax has a reputation of being ruthless with people who get in his way. I'm worried Edgar will get himself killed. I just want to get to him before the mayor does so I can convince him to end this lunacy. That's where you come in. So, can you find him for me?
Well, finding a man is no easy task. Am I right, Edith? We can't make any promises, but we'll do our best to find your wayward brother Edward for you.
His name is Edgar.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. We'll do our best to find him for you, Hannah.
Helen. It's Helen. Are you sure you're up to the task?
Please, excuse Frank. Mercury's in retrograde. We are very much up to the task.
Well, I've taken the liberty of compiling some information for you. Just some names of people Edgar knows. I'm not sure if it will be any use, but it might be a good starting point.
Yes, this will be very helpful. Thank you, Helen. And then there was the other matter of your payment. I believe you said on the phone you had cash. Oh, how much was it again?
$50.
Ah, yes, of course.
Thank you.
Cha-ching! Oh my god.
I appreciate your help, and I'm sure it goes without saying that this business will remain confidential.
Of course. I assure you we'll be the definition of discreet. So, back to the office?
I doubt Heidi's brother will be in my office, unless he's hiding under my desk.
You mean Helen's brother. And shouldn't we look over that list of contacts she gave you?
He worked for the mayor. We'll make far more progress utilizing my contact at the city hall than anyone on that silly list.
Contact? Surely you don't mean Arthur. You haven't spoken to him since the news broke about your affair with Mrs. Finchley. Will he even speak with you?
Please, he's obsessed with me. How could he say no?
No.
Arthur, please, this is very important.
You have the gall to show up at my place of work after what you did to me? You said you really liked me. You said we were going steady. And then you go and sleep with someone else. A woman. A married woman. And instead of doing the decent thing and telling me to my face, I have to read about it in some tabloid over coffee and a short crust pastry.
I admit I should have called, but it was a very busy weekend and I couldn't get to
A busy
phone.
weekend, Francis? You're making it worse.
Arthur, Artie, baby, I'm so sorry for what I put you through. It was an awful thing to do to you. I'm so embarrassed. God, I can't bear the thought of me ruining your short crust pastry. I really can't.
I spent a solid quarter on that pastry. When I read the headline, I choked on it. The man in the newspaper stand had to crawl over his desk and hit me on the back several times to dislodge it. And, well, when he did, it hit a passerby, and I didn't really have the heart to finish it after that.
Oh no, it sounds like I owe you another short crust pastry. You think that would make you feel better?
Frank! Maybe we can give Arthur a short crust pastry another time. We're on a schedule here.
Damn, she's right. We're on a real time crunch and we need your help. Maybe another time.
Fine. What's so important?
I'm working a case. A woman hired me to find her brother, who works here at City Hall. We're hoping you might have some useful information on him. His name is Eric Fagan.
Edgar Fiegel.
Yes, thank you. Do you know him?
Yeah, of course I know Edgar, but I don't think he works here anymore. I haven't seen him, well, for nearly a month.
Can you tell us about him? Anything's helpful.
Well...
Ladies, Smith.
McCarthy? Have a good one. Perhaps my office isn't the best place to discuss City Hall business. Maybe we can talk about it over drinks?
Thought you'd never ask. Your place or mine?
Well, my place is still dealing with that mole rat infestation, so better be yours.
Sounds dreamy.
Give me 2 minutes to pack up.
Okay, take your time, baby. We'll wait for you in the lobby.
Do you have any intention of actually making it up to him?
God, no. Can you imagine? No.
I honestly didn't know Edgar all that well. We didn't work in the same department, so we rarely crossed paths. I didn't know he had a sister. I, frankly, probably wouldn't have even realized he wasn't showing up for work if it hadn't been, well, if it hadn't been for those nasty rumors.
Rumors? What rumors?
Well, word is that he and John, the mayor, got into a fiery argument. John's secretary, who does have a reputation for being a little dramatic, said it had something to do with an extramarital affair. But no one knows for sure. Could be anything.
An affair. That would make sense. Earl's sister did mention he was blackmailing him.
Blackmail?
Frank, we promised Helen we'd keep it discreet.
This is Arthur. We can trust him. God, Dave is the worst, am I right?
Who the hell is Dave?
She means me. But that nickname is not catching on.
I don't know. I quite like it. It's got a nice ring to it. Dave. But, Frank, blackmailing the mayor is risky business. The city's worst kept secret is how brutal he can be to people who cross him.
I'm sure Frank can understand poorly kept secrets.
If John really is being blackmailed, and he found out that Edgar was the one coercing him, and all during a tough re-election campaign, well, I can see why Edgar's sister wants to find him and talk some sense into him.
Exactly. So, do you have any idea where he might be?
Like I told you, I don't know Edgar all that well. I know he's unmarried, has a penchant for certain eccentric socks, and he sings in his church's choir, but other than that, can't tell you much more.
Is that honestly all you've got?
Well, I know he's Anglican, if that helps at all.
Great. So he's a bachelor who's jazzed about God and strange fashion choices. The case is basically closed.
This is a dead end. Get our coats. Let's see if Eli's apartment has any more useful material.
Edgar Fiegel. His name is Edgar Fiegel.
Yeah.
Wait, you're leaving?
You've been simply splendid, Arthur. Really. Rain check on the short crust pastry? You're a peach. Toodles.
Bye, Arthur.
Goodbye, Dave.
All right, well, here it is. Clearly, he wasn't much of a homemaker.
God, this is depressing. I can practically smell the broken dreams and poor decisions in every sad corner of this apartment building. Who owns this decrepit place?
I do.
Damn. Not sure if I can come back from that one.
Please excuse her. She's a Leo, you know.
Remind me again how exactly you know, Mr. Fiegler?
Oh, we're Edgar's cousins.
Oh.
Yes, we're just very worried about him. We haven't heard from him in a while.
Well, Edgar told me he didn't have any family in this area, but his sister came a few days ago looking for him. Oh, it's just like a man, I suppose, lying like that. As my dearly departed mother used to say, a man is like public transportation. Unreliable, uncomfortable, but occasionally worth riding.
She sounds like a wise woman.
Oh, she was. She was. She died doing what she loved.
Oh, and what was that?
I believe his name was Greg. Yes, a heart attack took her. But she was an incredible woman. There's not a day that goes by that me and my 14 half-siblings don't think about her.
Oh my. Anyways, back to Edgar.
Mm-hmm.
We're just so worried about him since he's gone missing.
Well, if you do find him, please tell him if he's late with the rent again, I'm going to sell all of his things and find a more reliable person.
I'll be sure to pass on the message.
Thank
You're
you.
sure you don't mind us poking around? We're hoping to find something that will help us find where he is.
Knock yourself out, honey. I'll be downstairs watching Ed Sullivan if you need me. But please, don't need me.
Of course. Thank you, Mrs. Boyd.
See where our cousin got into the blackmail business. Half his mail is bills and collections.
What's the other half?
That's the odd thing. The rest of it seems to be from his reverend, Father Hurst. Maybe Artie was onto something with the whole Anglican thing. This Father Hurst might be able to help us.
Now you want to go see Edgar's Bible thumper? And do you know how many Anglican churches are in town? We'd have to look all night to find the right one.
Or, hear me out, we go to the church whose address is conveniently printed on these envelopes. Come on, I have the sudden urge to lay my sins before God.
I'm not sure even God has time for that testimony. Frank, I must once again protest to this outrage.
Just because you're not comfortable entering a church.
I am not uncomfortable entering a church. I'm uncomfortable breaking and entering a church. Big distinction there. Now can we please leave before we get arrested?
Arrested by who? The Pope?
You really don't have the first idea how the Anglican Church works, do you? You've seen him. Can we please leave?
Not by anything that's Father Hurst. What do you think he's doing here so late?
I have the regrettable sense we're about to find out.
Oh, Tim, how's the family?
They're doing all right. Yeah. Same as always.
This has gone on long enough. Let's cut our losses and get out of here.
No, that reverend's acting suspicious. I swear he's up to something.
You do.
If we could just get past that janitor.
What do you propose to do? Just waltz past him?
Nah, it'll never work. Oh, he's gone. Let's go.
Great. We trespass on church property to follow a lonely pastor to his depressing dinner.
Will you please pipe down? He's a preacher man. He's basically obligated to forgive his trespassers.
Tell that to the police when they're loading us into a paddy wagon like common criminals.
That was a short dinner. Bet you anything the man we're looking for is holed up in there right now, taking advantage of that poor reverend's hospitality. Come on.
Who are you? How did you get in here?
Edwin Fisher, I presume.
Who the hell is Edwin Fisher?
She means Edgar Fiegel.
Oh, well, that's me. Girl, who are you?
I'm Frank Ripley, kid, and this is my associate, Dave.
Frank, Dave is dead. I killed Dave. Don't listen to her. My name is Edith. It's nice to meet you, Edgar.
It's nice to meet you too, Edith. I love your skirt suit.
We'll discuss the Dave thing later. You know, Eddie boy, you're not an easy man to find.
We were only looking for him for a few hours.
Good point. You know, Eddie boy, you're an easy man to find.
Who sent you? Was it that bitch, Mayor Fairfax?
No, your sister. She's worried about you. And good reason. Tangled up in this sloppy blackmail scheme.
I don't have a sister.
Yes, you do.
No, I really do not.
Hello, Edgar.
Helen!
Helen, what are you hired us to find him just so you could kill him? You're his sister.
For the last time, I don't have a sister. That's Helen Rush, Fairfax's floozy of a secretary.
I've been trying to track you down for a long time, and now I finally get my revenge.
Oh my god, the mayor's extramarital affair. It was you! You're John Fairfax's mistress! When Edgar started blackmailing the mayor about his affair with you, you took matters into your own hands. And when you couldn't find him, you hired us to lead you straight to your mark.
You've been following us all night? Creep.
You're wrong. I wasn't Fairfax's mistress. He was. Isn't it obvious? I loved John, but he only had eyes for you, Edgar. Then I heard you were blackmailing him with love letters. I was destroyed. How could he love you and not me? I'm the one who so righteously deserved his adultery. Once I kill you and end your blackmail, he'll see that. Then he'll have to love me back. He'll have to.
Oh, honey, I'm not so sure about that.
Helen, please. We can work this out. Let's talk.
Save it. I brought the butter, and now you're toast.
What? The butter? That doesn't even make sense.
And what about us? You can't just shoot us.
Why not? No one will miss a disgraced novelist and her forgettable assistant.
Excuse me, I am quirky and relatable.
Enough!
Father Hirsch! Thank God!
Amen, Edgar. Praise be to the Lord on high.
What kind of reverend shoots people? I think the case is closed.
It was lovely to meet
Yeah.
you.
Nice to meet you too, Edith.
We have to.
We have
I
a
just
prior
I don't.
engagement.
It's a little squeamish, you know. It's like there's no problem. It's just.
Come on, Edgar. This bride's not gonna move itself.
Just get right under there. And...
Yeah. Grab a foot.
This way? Where are we taking her? This way.
Arthur, what are you still doing here?
You locked me in when you left.
Oh, I must have forgotten you were still in here.
You forgot about me 5 seconds after you were done talking to me.
Arthur, we've had a very busy evening. We found Edgar, almost got shot, and narrowly avoided being recruited into an Anglican choir by a surprisingly violent reverend. Maybe you should leave.
You found Edgar? That's wonderful.
Yes, now I'm feeling rather inspired by the events of the evening to write again, so if you don't mind.
If I don't mind, what?
Shove off, honey.
Oh, well, Frank, now that you're done with your case, I know it's late, but I thought maybe we could go get that short crust pastry.
Gosh, I'd really love to, but you know what they say about when inspiration strikes.
Oh, well, I suppose another time then.
Yeah, another time.
Tough break, Romeo. Now, let's get you back to your mole rat-infested apartment. You know, we were just at an apartment earlier today you should look at. The landlord was such a nice lady, and I didn't see any unreasonably sized rodents.
It was so late that it was early, but I couldn't resist the urge to start transposing the recent events that I'd experienced into one of my mystery novels. Adjustments would of course be made to certain plot points. Who would believe that a reverend could shoot someone dead, or that a grown man could choke on a short crust pastry, or that someone's name could actually be Edgar? Yes, I would have to embellish the finer details, but the name I would give to the story seemed obvious. After all, it centered around a brave, beautiful, brilliant detective. They call her Frank.
A meeting today.
This is the only publisher who would take you after your scandals.
They're all sniveling buffoons. I don't want to see any more of them.
Frances Ripley, this woman is your last chance at a published manuscript.
Woman? Well, show her in!
Wonderful apartment. Do enter. Now, I understand you are a reliable person?
Yes, I have 20 years of government records to corroborate
my
that, yes.
goodness. And you're leaving your other place because of mole rats?
Yes, blind mole rats. They're lovely fellows, but they become a little noisy when the family lives in your pillow.
Because we're next to a landfill, we only get little mice around here, but they're very friendly. You just have to give them a little cheese once in a while. But you'll have an aroma from the landfill, but I provide Febreze. Oh my.
And I assume trash services are very cheap here.
Oh, very cheap. You just throw things out the window.
That was my
No
biggest expense at my last place.
Really? Oh, that's too bad. Are you a singer?
Not particularly.
Oh, well, you'll love sitting like this and relaxing. You can also practice your singing and meditation.
Ooh. May I?
Come join me, please. Yes, that's it. Very good. Now, breathe deeply down here in the stomach, okay? Oh, my goodness, you are a natural talent. Oh, it's going to be wonderful having you in this apartment. And don't be afraid to sing or anything. You can even dance on the furniture. It's wonderful. And there's a big mirror up there. You can even try ice skating, for example. That's wonderful.
Oh, just put it on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Grab a pair of skates.
Grab a skates and just practice that. Oh, it's fabulous. Oh, you're going to love it here.
My goodness.
Yes, it's a wonderful place.
Well,
I'm so comfortable.
Failed blackmail scheme against your mayor turned former lover?
How did you know?
Chin up, babe. I've got a job that's totally unhinged. It's borderline psychotic. You in?
Of course.
One question. Have you traveled internationally in the last 12 months, and are all of your vaccinations up to date?
Do government officials wear toupees?
Hell yes. Now let's make like a bread truck and get our buns out of here.
well, it goes without saying, I take it.
Yes!